have just a little bit more. Do you want me to finish, or you want to defer?
No.
Go ahead, just that, if you have one wrap-up or two. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm almost finished. I wanted to address your nation's at-risk study that you have relied fairly extensively on, the study from 1983, about 28 years ago.
I just want to say, too, I mean, you're putting a lot of words in my mouth, so that's why, and I haven't really interrupted because I wanted to let you go, but I haven't relied heavily on it. One thing I've cited from that, one thing, and that was they advocated for the extended year and the 7-hour school day. The 200 to 200, that's the one thing I've cited, and the only reason I've cited it from 1983 is to demonstrate that this is not a new fad or a new idea. That's the only piece that I've cited from, so I think that's a little unfair.
Well, when I read that study, what I read was that they made certain findings regarding time in school. And that compared to other nations, American students do spend much less time on schoolwork. That's because time spent in the classroom and on homework is often used ineffectively. And because schools aren't doing enough to help students develop either the study skills required to use time well or the willingness to spend more time on schoolwork. In that study, they referenced England as being the standard because England was going to school 220 days a year. So 28 years later, we circle back and we look at England, who's been in school all these extra days, and we look at your PISA findings, and in fact, they're way lower than the United States in every single subject, significantly lower other than science. Additionally, I just think that it's important in the event that you don't realize this, that others don't realize this, that Nations at Risk report was pretty much discredited by the Sandia report, which showed that the trends that the Nation at Risk report relied on were in fact inaccurate because it started out with a study of high-functioning, high-achieving students, and over the years it brought in lower-achieving students. Each group's level was raised every year, but the group in the aggregates scores went down because they brought in lower-achieving students. So that report has actually, in fact, been entirely discredited.
That's not true. That's not true.
My question for you, and I have a question that's specific, and I would like an answer to it, and that is, you talked a lot tonight about we. And I would like to know who the we is. You had mentioned, I think, at American Martyrs that there was an advisory board. I would like to know very specifically who is the we and who is on that advisory board.
The we, as far as the Archdiocese goes?
Whoever made this decision.
Well, sure, we had a lot of people, obviously a lot of consultation. We have a Department of Catholic Schools staff that obviously was instrumental in making this. Obviously, personnel down there, we consulted with certain pastors, we consulted with certain principals. We brought it to our ESAC, which is our Elementary School Advisory Council group of principals. It's 20 principals in the Archdiocese, to get feedback from them. And so those are some of the entities that we consulted.
Were any parents on that advisory board?
We talked to parents individually. We didn't talk to groups of parents.
Were they representative of a cross-section of your entire system?
Yes, I would say they were.
So there were some from the West Side as well?
Not West Side, but from high-income communities.
Thank you.
Yeah.